Welcome to the Hubcast for today, March 15th, 2017. Jordan and Steph are, Jordan and Steph are out of town today. So they are on a little family trip, and we are here doing our thing still, having fun. We filmed the faux toy chest yesterday, if you saw that, where we replaced Jordan with Dan, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Today, we are sponsored by Dollar Shave Club, and I will talk about them a little bit later. We were sponsored by them last time. It was a lot of fun. So today, we're just going to kind of talk, shoot the shit a little bit, have some fun. I got some stories from over the week.
That's the powerful one. Somebody shit.
Ah!
I shot your ass. That works.
I have some stories from over the weekend that are pretty fun, and I think we're just going to kind of talk about stuff in general. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you can't ask. I'm sorry. That's more of a live experience thing. If you want to see us live, twitch.tv/thecreatures every Thursday around 4 p.m., sometimes 5, mostly 4. So that is today. How was the weekend for everyone? We kind of talked a little bit in the pre-show.
It's good. Good.
Productive.
Good weekends then.
Oh, yeah.
Nice weather.
I have a pillow over my dick right now.
Thick pillow.
I was going to pull something up, but I can't remember now.
Well, I'm going to jump right into my story.
Okay.
So
yeah, I've heard. I only know from what I read on a sticky note you stuck on here Monday because you're like, I'm gonna forget otherwise.
It says Spencer DEA story.
That
now,
sounds,
if you don't know what the DEA is, it's the Drug Enforcement Administration.
We've had some rumblings with them in the past.
Yeah, in Colorado, it's not really as big a thing with pot at the main. They're still around for other things, but
plenty of other drugs to administrate.
Exactly. And I went to my dad's house this weekend. It was his birthday, so I went to go hang out with him.
Happy birthday, Spencer's dad.
Yes, He is 47, pretty young.
J.J. Abrams years old.
J.J. Abrams years old. He could have written Star Wars. I don't know what he's doing. He just hasn't. Anyways, it's his new house. So I went to his new house, and he doesn't have a front yard or a backyard yet. It's just dirt pretty much because they built the house from scratch.
Ah, nice.
So they finished
Built
the
on a lot.
house. Yeah. So essentially they can park on both ends. And so I'm just setting up the scene, if you will.
Painting the picture.
We were planning to go to lunch, and we finally picked a place to go. And we were walking out the back door because they had their cars parked in the backyard, and there's a bank behind them and an alleyway. So there would normally be a fence if you had a yard, but there's no yard. So as we're walking out, my stepmom sees a dude peeing on the bank. It's broad daylight too. This is like midday.
He's making a deposit?
He's making a deposit. So he's assuming the stance, and he's just kind of pissed on the bank. Not the worst offense.
They wouldn't give him a loan, so he's just like, fuck you, bank.
I guess.
Wanted to open that small daycare center, and now I can't.
I'll piss on you.
Which I think sometimes, you gotta go. If you're really drunk walking in the downtown area, that's fine.
What time was this?
This is like 12:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday. So it's
okay.
And there's gas stations nearby. There's some there's definitely places to deposit said urine. But he decided to do the bank. So my stepmom opened the door, saw him as he was getting back in his car. He had parked, gotten out and peed, then got back in his car. Yeah, that's the confusing part. He wasn't just a passerby.
Could have been on a road trip, maybe.
Maybe.
Who stops and pees on a bank during a road trip?
He also didn't park properly.
Bottle
he parked
first,
crookedly.
side of the road second, and third, stopping at a gas station. He was already in town. Why
Exactly.
Why not stop anywhere?
Yeah, and this is a town. It wasn't like in the middle of
Was
nowhere.
it Bank of America?
No, it was like one of the shitty banks where you go to get a loan.
Oh, okay.
Like day of. You're like, I need $2,000 today.
If it was Bank of America, I could understand why he did it.
Calling
But
for
maybe
cash
he was
or
just
whatever.
going hitting the
Wells Fargo
scavenger
screwed over
hunt.
a bunch of
Maybe it was
people.
like some sort of pissing scavenger hunt. You have to pee on each building.
I would have been okay with that. See, now the problem, I get it. You have to pee. That's not the worst offense to me. It's like, yeah, it's in the backyard, whatever. My stepmom saw him get back in the car and waved at him like, hey. And then he just was kind of like waving back. He was just like, hi.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. And then he started to pull away, and we were like, okay, whatever. He pissed. Let's go to lunch. He then turns around and pulls into our backyard where her car is. So now he's on our property.
What the fuck?
So this guy pull onto his property, and he rolls down his window, and he kind of like puts his arm on the door, and he kind of like looks over. And he's
You were
like,
here?
Yeah, I was here. It was me and my girlfriend and my dad and my stepmom. And we were about to go to lunch, so we're all at the doorway pretty much.
The fuck?
And he kind of leans out and he's like, did you see me pissing? Like just right off the bat, just kind of like saying that. And he had not seen my dad or me by this point. He just sees my stepmom. So me and my dad walk out, and he kind of like goes back a little bit just because he thought it was just like a woman inside of a house pretty much. And so then my dad's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing here? Type of stuff. Because, like, we would have been fine if you just pissed and left.
Yeah.
Just leave.
Happy wave
But he
exchange.
pissed.
Maybe your stepmom shouldn't have waved.
No, well, yeah.
She kind of engaged him.
Was he midstream?
Well, he kind of-
He became aggroed, and then he came around, and
He got into the car, so he was done.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, he did piss pretty much in our backyard.
why didn't he just walk across the dirt lot then and like get out of his car and come over and like,
I
hey,
think
you see
this
me
was-
piss?
For a quick exit.
Yeah,
This
so
is fishy.
this guy's fronting up pretty much. He's doing
Yeah.
the full douchebag thing where he's trying to be overconfident. And so...
Yeah, what you think of the stream? Huh?
Huh?
Yeah.
So my dad's out there, and I walk behind my dad. My dad's bigger than me, by the way. He's like a buffer, not super buff, but he's like a buff version of me. So my dad's talking to him. They're kind of going back and forth, and my dad's like, "Well, what the fuck you doing here, or whatever?" And he's like, "I'm in the DEA." He just kind of throws that
What?
out there, and he's like, "I protect this neighborhood." Just kind of throws it out there. My dad's like, "Cool, like whatever," and he's like. And my dad's like, well,
Is it
thanks. It's like, is
leave it a
pissing
sample.
protecting our neighborhood?
Is it standard procedure to piss on the side of the bank?
You gotta get rid of the evidence.
Yeah, pretty much. So my dad's like, is pissing protecting the neighborhood? And he's like, well, I'm above that.
I'm above the law.
He's like, I'm above that. So he's like, oh, my dad's like, oh, big government guy above the law, huh? And this guy's kind of like, he's clearly making this shit up on the spot. He's not DEA. He's none of this bullshit. So he kind of makes up on the spot. He's like, like, whatever. And then eventually I go inside just on the off chance this guy is like going to get out of the car to find some type of blunt instrument to hit him with. On the
okay.
off chance,
Gotcha.
the mood's very tense at the moment.
Yeah.
And to tell you how this guy
Stand
looks, he looks like the DEA guy from Breaking Bad.
Hank?
Almost exactly. He's a bald, kind of
like
big guy. He had sunglasses on.
This is changing the story completely in my head now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm glad you painted it that way. Man, Hank pissing on the side of the bank and then coming over and be like,
Hank,
see my
Hank
stream?
Pisser.
So he's just kind of, fronting up or whatever. And the conversation comes to an end around that point. Well, actually, so essentially they end the conversation. He's like, well, you guys seem like a good family or whatever. And I was like, okay.
I'll be seeing you around.
Peeing on you around here.
Yeah,
soon.
and so we then go back inside. And then we're like, okay, fine, whatever. And the guy leaves. We're inside and we shut the door, and my stepmom starts to call the police because the guy did public
Damn.
urination.
Yeah.
He trespassed on our property, and he said he was a DEA agent, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
So she starts to call him, and right as she calls him, he pulls back into
Oh
our
my
lot.
God.
And my dad's about to go out. And I'm like, don't
This
go
is a
out.
live situation now.
I'm like, don't go out because the only reason he's coming back is because he's going to do something. Not necessarily, he may not have a gun, but on the off chance that he might, I was like, just stay in the house. We're calling the cops. They'll be here, whatever. So he pulls back in, and he's just kind of like looking around or whatever. And then he kind of gets what we're doing, that we're calling the cops, and he like hightails it out.
Yeah.
So he pulls
What?
out, he starts driving away, and we see where he goes. And during all of this, I'm so proud of my girlfriend for this. While me and my dad were out there, she took a picture of his license plate.
oh, smart.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, you're doing so good. So she called, my stepmom called the cops, and we told them the license plate, and we had the tag number and how his car looked.
Man.
And we had a description of his person. So we told them that, and they're like, okay, we're going to send a cop to you guys to talk to you guys about it. And we're like, okay, that's fine. So they send a person over, and the second they walk in, they're like, okay, so we got the guy. Like, and this is like a minute after we called. They had gotten him
I
in
thought
a
you were
minute.
about to say, and then the cop walks in, and it was the DEA guy.
That would
It's
have
like,
been
what seems to be the problem?
That would have
dick's
been
hanging
the
out.
worst. So they got him in like a minute. Like they saw his car. It was like, I'm not going to describe his car, but they saw his car. They pulled him over, and they're like, okay, we got him. We just need to get a description from you guys, whatever it may be. So we give them all the info they want, what he looks like, what his car is. We give them the picture. And we give them our numbers. She was super sweet. And I actually have my Nintendo Switch there. And she's like, oh, I like your Switch. What are you playing? So we talked about Nintendo Switch too. She was a great cop. They had the body cameras too. Those were cool. But essentially, she's like, okay, well, it's not going to be a felony, but we're giving him a ticket. It's just a petty theft. It was like
And now you've created a lifelong enemy who will come back.
Oh no.
That's what we were worried about. But
So
I don't know. If he comes back, then that's like, that is a felony.
Was he a DEA agent?
She kind of laughed when we told her. So
Yeah.
I have a
He's
feeling it
deep
wasn't.
undercover.
They checked to see if he was drunk because we were like, he was kind of crazy. And she's like, no, I think he's just crazy.
Oh, okay.
Because she said that her fellow officer was thinking about doing it, but decide he wasn't drunk. So
Maybe this is just his thing. He pisses and sees if anybody sees him do it. He pisses in a very public place, and then if somebody does, he just goes and has a weird conversation about it. And then the second the conversation's done, he comes back then and sees if they're still interested. This is how he makes
It's his
friends.
hobby, Yeah.
well, I mean, if he is a DEA agent, what a stupid DEA agent. Like, why'd you go around being like, well, I'm above the law after you... I don't know. That just seems silly to me. He's clearly not, but I think it's even more fascinating that he would piss, see that we recognized it, pull into our driveway, and then start talking to us about it, and like then be like, maybe I should say I'm a DEA agent for some reason. Like, I don't know how that helps. How does he protect our neighborhood? Either way, he got a ticket, and we had to go to lunch. But it was a very strange encounter.
Is it a particularly druggy neighborhood?
No, it's a nice neighborhood. Like, the only shitty part of the neighborhood is the bank.
Really? Wow, man.
The irony.
I've never heard of a bank being the centerpiece of a shitty neighborhood.
Well, see, it's not like a U.S. Bank or
shitty
something like that.
centerpiece,
That's kind of nice. It was like a Money Now bank. Like,
Okay.
you get fast cash type of place. So it was more like a place where you transfer money or where you get fast loans. And it was the shittiest part of the neighborhood. But it was a really weird encounter.
I don't even understand that.
Yeah. So, I don't know, some dude tried to front up, and then I mean, my dad hasn't told me anything. He hasn't come back. I
Yeah.
hope he doesn't. Because if he does, he's fucking crazy. But if he does come back and he steps on our property, that's jail time.
Yeah.
So,
Jesus Christ. Some
essentially,
people
it's
in
us
this
just doing a
world.
receipt being like, well, if he does come back, he was here, and then he's fucked.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Trump to appoint that guy head of the DEA.
I heard some stories. This guy's he's been doing some real great work.
And he pisses on banks. I love it. All right.
But yeah, that was my DEA story.
That was
Interesting.
fantastic.
I'm glad you survived.
Yeah, I mean, I was just nervous he had a gun. I don't think he did.
Smart for you to go grab something and smart for Lola to take a picture.
Yeah, I was like, oh, thank God she grabbed a picture. Because someone, she was like, I was going to write it down, but I just have my phone.
Yeah.
So, well,
Wah,
Yep.
wah, wah, wah.
What is this?
that is a gas from Minecraft.
Yeah, the
it was in part
gas
one of the toy
blaster.
chests we did.
Okay.
Where you blast the gas.
Gas
I thought it
blaster.
was a catalyst for another story.
No.
No, I like to have something here to kind of change up the scenery every episode. And the last two have been Nintendo Switch items. So I was like,
We
what do
figured
we
out
have
we
that's
throw
not
out
a
a
Switch?
Microsoft item.
Yeah, I
I
could
like
have.
having the Switch there.
Yeah, I do too.
When I was
It's cool.
playing on
I'll
the
look
thing.
up there and see it.
So I want to talk about this a little bit.
Sorry. Yes.
Go
No,
on.
I just paused for no reason. I wanted to talk about some Batman news, just because in the news recently there's been a lot of different developments regarding the Batman movie
Which we've
and
talked about
Batman
a
himself.
couple times.
Yeah, I keep bringing it up because the last thing
Well,
was
it's really interesting.
was Ben Affleck dropped out of directing. Also, there were rumors that he wanted to not be Batman anymore, and then Matt Reeves came along and was in talks to direct. Matt Reeves then dropped out of talks, and then it was like, what the fuck? And then a couple days later, he once again confirmed that I guess they finished negotiations, apparently on the contingency of him having full creative control.
Oh.
So
Well, that could be good.
yeah, that could be good, could be bad. Who knows? I think Matt Reeves is a solid filmmaker currently. I liked his last two movies. I liked his.
I think I'd rather
Planet of
have
the Apes
a
movie.
director to have sole control than to have multiple people in it.
Yeah.
But when they do have sole control, you could get fucking A New Hope, or you could get the Phantom Menace. Like,
Yeah.
and granted, I
Both
like
awesome.
I like the Phantom Menace a lot, but you're at the mercy of the director to either do their best work or to do some questionable work, and I think you could get both from either. And I love the Phantom Menace. There's some cool shit in there, but
Oh, yeah.
it's no A New Hope.
Yeah. So that all happened. And now a couple of things came out. So Ben Affleck announced that he was just coming out of rehab for alcohol abuse. And also today they also announced that, well, I guess sources, whatever, unnamed sources, whatever. They are doing a completely from scratch rewrite of the Batman script.
Oh, yeah, you had told me that.
Because it seemed the main story was going to be focusing on Deathstroke with some like cursory villains, but Deathstroke was going to be the main bad guy. Joe Mangione or whatever his name is.
Didn't he tweet out like a video?
Yeah, there was a screen test that they did. I think potentially for Justice League, because it was
okay.
when they were filming Justice League. But Ben Affleck tweeted out just a monitor screen test thing of like a camera moving forward on Deathstroke.
I love Deathstroke, and Joe
outfit and-
Manganiello is Deathstroke I'd like
Yeah,
too.
whatever his name is,
Mangello?
Mangello or
Mangello.
whatever it is.
He was in Magic Mike, right?
Yes.
Okay. He was also in How I Met Your Mother.
He was also in that Pee Wee Herman movie. He's a big plot point in that movie.
Huh.
Pee Wee wants to be his friend, or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh, Pee Wee.
It's a pretty good movie. But those two things came out. I hope that. Well, one, I'm glad Ben is seeking help if he has alcohol issues. I didn't know that, but that's good that he's doing that, and hopefully that kind of. Maybe that was somewhat fueling his kind of lack of desire to play Batman. I don't know. He seemed to be kind of like getting frustrated about the attention that it was constantly being thrown at him.
That's interesting
negative or
for
positive
someone
or
who's
whatever.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Like I don't blame him at all because I could totally understand like being like sometimes I want my space.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take on like Batman as a character and a director, you kind of have to assume that you're gonna get attention for it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's Batman.
No, it's true. Maybe
Like
he's
if
just
he did
having,
a Star Wars movie, he'd get so much attention for that. So
maybe he's having like flashbacks because like he was just universally hated after Geely and Daredevil and stuff like that, and like people just kind of created this really negative thought about him.
I thought he did great as Batman character wise. It's just the movie. Well, it wasn't awful. It's just it was a little flat.
Yeah.
But I think character-wise, both Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman had very strong characters. So once these characters are given a script that can reflect their characters as well, like I think they'll do fantastic.
Yeah,
it's
I don't
just
really
waiting for that point.
Yeah, I don't think any actors were really at fault outside of maybe Jared Leto going a little too all over the place
Jared
with
Leto,
his Joker.
maybe Lex Luthor.
Yeah. But I think he's pretty funny.
Like,
but yes, no, his character is completely
I don't
random.
think-
But I enjoy that. I enjoy Lex Luthor more than I enjoyed the Joker.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
Honka doesn't really make me go like whenever he's
Well,
just
yeah, and
being
when he's
weird.
like, "You need to have sex with my wife." He doesn't say those lines verbatim,
He's like, "You wanna have
but
sex with
he
her?"
pretty much is like, "Huh?" And then when he says like, "Actually, you know what? I feel really uncomfortable in this situation," he's like, "Fine," and then it just blows his head off. The Joker was a strange character, but I think I'm fine with weird villains. I've seen plenty before, as long as the story is good, which I guess that kind of works with the characters as well.
Yeah.
I loved Harley Quinn, and I loved Deadshot.
Yes.
I love Deadshot as well, so I think they'll do just fine as long as the scripts are good and
Yeah.
the editing's not all over the place.
Yeah. I'm just bummed that because Jeff Johns, who's the head of DC currently, and I believe, and Ben Affleck wrote the script together. So like the original script. So if they're going page one rewrite and they haven't said who's writing it, it's kind of sad. Apparently Chris Terrio had gone through and done some revisions to their script. So he wrote Justice League and Batman v Superman.
I mean, I'll approach it the same way I approach like video games, like with Zola, for instance. Zola's supposed to come out in 2015.
Yeah.
It didn't come out
Yeah,
until
that's true.
this March. I'd much rather have a game or game and movie that's super solid and delayed. And while that's sad, it's delayed and it sucks when you hear.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention about
like
the delay.
3 times.
Matt Reeves is working on War of the Planet of the Apes until June, so he's not going to even be able to start working on that movie until then. So currently, I guess they're just writing the new script, and they had a summer 2018 or towards the end of 2018 release date for that, but now they're going to have to push it back to 2019 almost certainly.
Man.
And like I get it. I'd much rather have a solid movie without it. It's just when people are looking at Warner Bros. And DC with such a magnifying glass that any little thing like this is making people doubt it even more, and that can't help how they're feeling.
Yeah,
because
that's
when you're
true.
trying to make like the best thing you can, and there's someone over your shoulder being like, "They pushed it back again. You guys suck. You have to rewrite the script." That can't help how you feel. But I hope they can push through and make a good movie because I know DC can. There's no question. Like the Dark Knight trilogy happened, and I think the movies they made so far haven't been awful. It's just going to that next echelon where they can be in the same mindset as Marvel, where it's like every movie, even like Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, people want to go to it because they know Marvel's good. Mm-hmm. If
Well, that
DC
Marvel-
was to release like a I don't know, a really low level hero as
Black
a movie.
Adam.
Black Adam? I guess they are, yeah. I don't know how well that would
Or
do.
Shazam.
Granted,
Black
The
Adam's
Rock's in
separate.
that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how well that would do.
Yeah. Who knows? Marvel's just such a well-oiled machine at this point. Like they know exactly what they're doing. Did you see about so in Logan and this isn't a spoiler or anything if you haven't seen it or anybody in the chat. Logan and X-Men Apocalypse both have the character of Caliban in them. The character played by Stephen Merchant in Logan. And do you remember in X-Men Apocalypse when they go to that club and they're talking to that bald guy and the bald guy's
Oh,
like, that's Caliban as well. So they're both in these movies. Like same character, but not really the same character.
Which X-Men's done before.
And I guess a lot of people have been asking about it, and I even brought it up in my review. A lot of people have been asking about it to director James Mangold, and he came out and said, well, it kind of just shows how not as coordinated as things are. They were making X-Men Apocalypse, and they had Caliban in it, and he was writing his script for Logan, and he wanted to include Caliban, but didn't know they were using it, and they didn't know they were using it. Isn't that like they
That's
share
so
producers?
messy.
It's like Simon Kinberg, I'm pretty sure, was producers on both of them. You think somebody would read the script and know, oh, that character's in this?
Well, and Logan's great, and I get that it's its own thing, and they've kind of said that, but
Yeah.
why would they make something that's its own thing in a universe with 10 movies already?
They've done this with characters like ad nauseum in the X-Men franchise at this point. They had that the lady from Mad Men in
the
First
Ice
Class,
Lady.
the Ice Lady, Diamond Lady,
She was
or
a
whatever.
teenager in Wolverine.
Yeah, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
And then they go back farther, and she's or is
older.
It, yeah, and she's older
because it's like the 70s in First Class, and it's like the 80s, I think, early 80s in Wolverine. So
Yeah.
I don't get how any of it lines up.
And I'm fine with it if they can roll over it, but it's kind of like I love interconnectivity. That's why we watch the MCU.
Yeah.
Is the fact that every little movie is connected, and they don't need to go ad nauseum as to what's connected about it, but it's so cool that it is.
Yeah.
It's like reading books or playing fucking Overwatch even. Like the fact that they have comic books and that they have these shorts and that they have the game itself. Like people love connectivity. And so it's kind of a letdown when you watch X-Men and there's so much disconnectivity when it's the exact
Especially
same
after
characters.
They just rebooted it recently. Like with the Futures Past, the timeline has changed. They could do whatever the
they
fuck
made
they
a
want.
joke about it pretty much.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, well, it's done. Like we're rebooted, which is I really liked that at the time because like, cool, fresh start. And they did the same thing again.
Yeah. So it's just.
I mean, the movies have been
but
pretty great aside from Apocalypse. That was kind of a pile of dog shit.
We don't talk about Origins, only the video game. Video game was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I need to play more of it. Yeah.
We did that on Thrifty Gamer.
Yep. I remember. That was fun.
That was interesting.
What did I play? Wolverine?
Yeah, you played X-Men Origins Wolverine. You fought the giant rock monster, which
Yeah.
was in the game for some reason.
I love that game because it actually had him cutting people apart, and he had like realistic, like he would get like shit, like chunks of his arm would go away and then start to slowly grow back. Like it was so cool. It was. I don't know why they haven't made a Wolverine game since.
Yeah, I mean Wolverine's. It's weird that Hugh Jackman won't play him anymore. It's gonna be like when Robert Downey doesn't play Iron Man anymore.
Yeah. I see. This is my theory on the MCU because they're about to end Phase 3, and it's supposed to be this big, huge, epic ending with the final Avengers film. I believe that's the last one, right? And so I think
Captain Marvel is.
Captain Marvel's the last one.
Yeah.
But Captain Marvel's going to be in the Avengers movies.
Yes.
So that's not like she's going to have her own movie after that stuff. I bet. And Captain Marvel's whole thing is she can shift in between realities, kind of like Doctor Strange, but she can go like in between realities. And like she, I guess, has like, I heard Brie Larson talking more about it and stuff like that. And stuff. But I have a theory that they're going to end up just in a different reality or something like that. That way they can recast all these characters and or do whatever. I don't know though.
Well,
Who
then they can
knows?
also say like phases 1 through 3 were their own thing.
Yeah.
And granted, they could have some of the same actors back if the actors want to stay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
At this point, they've been doing it for
Iron
so
Man,
long.
Captain America, Nick Fury, like a lot of these characters aren't going.
Yeah.
With. Like I think that what they've done so far is so good that they're gonna want to end at this high point and be like, you know what, that was so cool, but I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Hugh Jackman's doing. I mean, Hugh Jackman's had more pitfalls with his movies, but the character's always been strong.
Yes.
Even in X-Men Origins,
Yeah,
Wolverine
you
was still,
can't fault Wolverine.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Wolverine wasn't terrible in that movie. It was just the movie was kind of shitty.
Yeah,
around
and it's
it.
the same thing
Like
as Suicide Squad. Yeah, where like because the character is great, but yeah, I don't think any of the mainstay besides Spider-Man are staying. I think Spider-Man's gonna stay because Sony has a hand in it.
Oh yeah,
and
I think
he's brand new.
they're definitely setting up more. Like
Yeah.
I think that might be a way they get some different actors in there. Maybe, who knows? I don't think they're gonna just drop Iron Man. They might go to the current Iron Man, the girl who's playing Iron Man currently.
Yeah.
But and maybe even Lady Thor. Who the fuck knows?
I don't think Lady Thor. I haven't read the comics, so I don't really know, but I don't think she was Thor. I think she was another version
Gotcha.
that just held Mjolnir for a while. But
Well, there's been a couple different people who have wielded Mjolnir.
I want to see
over
the Iron
years.
Spider.
What's the new Thor coming out?
Thor Ragnarok.
Ooh,
It
I
looks
want to see that.
awesome.
That does look
Looks
really
like
good.
Fifth Element and
Yeah.
Thor
Jeff
combined.
Goldblum's the grand master of the gladiator planet. He's like the one who like holds the stuff. Apparently he's very eccentric. So hell yeah. Eccentric,
Cool.
colorful Jeff Goldblum with weird gold silver on his face. Like
Short hair Thor.
Pizzas.
that should be awesome. 3 pizzas. If you guys have never ever watched any of those slow motion Jeff Goldblum videos on YouTube, you are doing yourself a disservice by not stopping this video just for a moment, or if you're watching this later, pausing it, watching a few of those and coming back because those are amazing.
The Apple Computer ones specifically.
Yes.
Those ones are the best.
There's some newer ones that take like interviews from late night shows and stuff like that are kind of good, but it's just like when he talks, if you slow it down, he sounds so slurred and just like scatterbrained. It's really funny. It's like a drunk person.
And then after that, close that video out, open up Mary Kate and Ashley as little kids singing Pizza in slow motion as well. Have you ever seen that?
No.
They're like, give me pizza.
I think
Pizza.
I think you had me look that up the first time I ever showed. Oh yeah, it's Alex is here.
But there's some great pizza slow-mos on YouTube.
Can't you do slow-mo on YouTube, like in the video player? So
yeah, you
could do-
can.
Yeah. I've done that before with
Okay.
Jeff
You could do
Goldblum and
ultra
stuff, I think.
slow-mo with him.
So when Jeff Goldblum, when he does an interview for Thor, you can just
Yes.
right out of the gate do it.
Oh, that'd be so
I
good.
forgot you could even do that. Everybody wants pizza in the chat now.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry.
I had pizza soup for lunch.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that. What was that again? What was the brand?
Campbell's Chunky. I saw it on the shelf. It was it was just like pepperoni, sausage, mushroom pizza soup
With like
and
bread.
it had like little like bread dumplings in it. It was so weird. I had to get it.
Yeah. Was it what was the verdict?
I'd get it again.
Yeah.
I started
It
eating
smelled
it
great.
cold. Yeah, I like to just eat out of a can like a vagabond, but then I was like, I'm gonna
Got
eat
my
this up.
can of beans.
Yeah, and it was
Warm
way
pizza's
better.
good. Well,
Oh, yeah.
warm soupy pizza is good.
I've had pizza that was literally soup once, where I just like lifted up the slice and just
it
dribbled.
clapped.
It just dribbled. No, like grease just. I
Baby
know.
Dallas
it
said
was
that
the worst.
she slows down our videos when we're being stupid.
Well, that's
That would be funny.
One of my favorite videos that a fan ever made was that the Smash Mouth. No, was it the Smash Mouth?
Yep.
No.
It started out with Smash Mouth and then it ended with us
just
doing the candy video.
the spoiled candy video where
Spencer.
yeah, James is like Spencer, and Spencer's like, let's get a little more powder in there, and it just made everything more sexual, and
It's
we were all
so sticky.
and there's like,
No.
oh! it was so
That video
good.
was great.
Yeah.
Sultry.
I go back and watch that every once in a while because it's really good. Plus,
So-
it has that "Where's Dan? Where's Dan? Where's Dan?" Where's Dan
Oh, yeah.
from my Law in
That's
the
like,
Office video.
This is a really quick topic I wanted to hit on. It's been going around Facebook and Twitter. It's just a video of Ariana Grande on a podcast pretty much. And they're just talking to her and they're just kind of being a little misogynistic, but not in a way where they would think about it, just in a generally misinformed way. They pretty much are just like, which would you rather go out with? Like, go without makeup or a phone? And then she's like, well, why would you pick those two things? Just because I'm a girl? And they're like, well, yeah, like that's what girls do. Pretty much they're just being idiots.
Yeah.
It's the general consensus of it. But they kind of like just keep doubling down on everything they're saying, just being idiots. And so she tries to move the topic on by talking about emojis, because apparently there was a big emoji update on iPhone. And
I can't wait to not see all of those on Twitter when people use them.
they talk about all the new
Android
ones, and
user.
she's like, oh, I like this one and this one. And she's like, and the unicorn one's really cool. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's a girl one. And then she's just kind of like, well, like,
Maybe they were just trying to make a joke, but it wasn't. Maybe they were just intentionally
she was
trying
taking
to,
it pretty well.
I don't even
I'm
know.
not a big Ariana Grande fan, but she handled the situation pretty well. And then she was like, well, why can't men send that? And they're like, well, maybe boys. And it's just kind of like, I have a big problem with this in general, and it kind of sparked my interest. I have a big problem with people that aren't confident in their sexuality, so much to a point where they almost insult other people because they're not confident in themselves by saying like shooting down the unicorn thing, or like being like, well, women like this or whatever. It's like anyone can like anything. That's not like a brand new idea. I know that some people have a hard time with that I don't know, maybe women can't like football and men can't like Hello Kitty.
Lifetime Movie Network.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you like something, that's just what it is. You just like it. Anyone can think whatever they want. I just find it silly when people go out of their way to then limit someone else based on what they think. That's the problem I have.
Preach it, Spencer.
I don't care about anything anyone does as long as it doesn't hurt someone else. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't be racist, don't be sexist, don't hurt someone's feelings.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. I think it's that simple. And granted, this is
My
not the
mantra in
worst
life.
thing that's happened in the
not
last
to.
12 minutes.
Yeah.
But this is the type of thinking that people just kind of casually let go because like, well, it's not a big deal. And then it sprouts into stuff much more. I feel like the way this always starts is that people aren't friends with certain races and genders and ideologies when they're growing up, and they don't get that perspective. And so they just are instantly racist or sexist because they never had any girlfriends growing up. They never had any black friends growing up. They never had any white friends growing up. And it just kind of spreads and makes, I don't know, social interactions really just not fun sometimes. So yeah, just don't care what people do as long as it's not mean. That's kind of the gist of my conversation.
Yeah.
Did she fire back at him, or she just like?
She handled it pretty well. I think she had to be there for like an hour.
Oh man.
So I think she was kind of like, well, whatever. She handled it well. She gave her point, and she wasn't attacking them, which is what you should do. But it's like a minute-long video where she's kind of just saying, no, this is how I feel. And then they're kind of like, duh, and they go on to the next subject. And then they're like, well, you know, like, it's a crazy world right now. What would you like to change? And she's like, well, you know, a lot of things, misunderstanding, sexism, racism, whatever. And at the end, they're like, I agree. And it's kind of just like, well, no, you're like, you were a part of the problem the whole time.
It sounds like unintentionally comedically genius.
It does sound like that, but they were just
You might
so...
have to watch it now.
Yeah, no, I bet I'll watch them and be like, oh, those guys are just idiots.
They are just,
But
it's the way they're holding themselves. And there's multiple of them. They're like, well, no, like, I'm a guy and I wouldn't send a unicorn emoji. It's like, why? Who cares? Like, are your friends going to be like, oh, he sent a unicorn emoji. He's fucking gay, man. Look at him. It's like,
Block
no.
him.
If you're confident that you're not gay and that you are straight, why would you feel threatened when someone calls you gay? If you're confident in yourself, to some degree. Unless they're being really mean about it, obviously. But I don't like when people don't have confidence in their sexuality, because it's like, you feel how you feel, and it's fine to experience new things. And even if you don't know yourself, just feel confident that that's who you are, and don't threaten other people because you don't know that you're completely straight or completely one way or
It
multiple
shows
ways.
you wavering
Yeah.
when you go on the offensive for no reason.
Exactly.
It's like, you know, you're attacking me for a reason, you know.
It actually made me want to send a unicorn emoji, but Android doesn't have one. So, but yeah, that was my
Android
little mini
plebs.
rant thing.
Outside of Joe, Joe's an Apple guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of kind of that stuff, I saw Get Out over
Ooh, I heard good
on
things.
the weekend. That was
What is that
Get
yeah.
out.
Anthony Green.
Yeah, so that's why all that day when I ordered the tickets, all I was doing was singing "Get Out" by
Circa.
Circa Survive.
Oh yeah, sorry. They were like, the whole beginning point was that after the phone thing, they're like, she's like, I could go an hour without my phone. And they're like, yeah, ladies learn. And she's like, well, no, men and women can learn from this because people are on their phones a lot. They're like, well, yeah, but ladies.
Ladies are on their phone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Get Out was just it had some interesting ways of just looking at race and stuff like that. The way the movie it was pretty good. I really liked it.
That shot of him crying is always like, that's a good shot.
Yeah.
Because his eyes aren't blinking and there's just like a tear coming down.
That dude, he was in probably my favorite episode of Black Mirror.
That's
It's the
the
one I
only
showed
one I've
you.
seen, yeah. That's
because
funny as
I
fuck.
liked it so much. The next day, I was like, Joe, you need to watch this one. You know, he was really great in Get Out, and that Black Mirror episode. I love that episode. But
Because that was
Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele's first movie?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, not Keegan Michael Key. It was Jordan Peele. Yeah, he wrote and directed it, and man, apparently he directed a lot of it as either Barack Obama or Tracy Morgan, or like just doing
character?
impressions and stuff. Well, yeah, he was just doing impressions and stuff.
hilarious.
Because Jordan Peele's not in the movie at all, but and a lot of it was kind of improvised, which I'm surprised by. Although some of it does kind of come off like as, you know, kind of more natural. But man, yeah, it was what a crazy movie. Yeah, I liked it. White people are scary.
Yeah. Certain types of white people.
Yeah.
There's certain types of white people that scare me just because obviously, well, this is like my point before. I don't know them. And stuff you don't know is kind of scary, but also sometimes they're legitimately scary.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a horror movie based around scaring you.
True
Oh,
that.
it's a scary white person horror movie.
It's not incredibly scary. It's just more so really kind of there's a tension throughout the film where it's just like, what the hell's going on? And it's not incredibly unpredictable either. It's just kind of the way it goes and what it has to say about stuff
Okay.
towards the end.
The
It's
general
really-
premise is it's a black guy with a white girl in a relationship, and she brings him home to meet her family.
without telling him that he's black.
Oh.
Yeah, without telling them.
So, and he's not sure, and she's just trying to reassure them that they're
Are they
not
like in the
racist
middle of a
and-
forest or something?
Yeah, they're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and they're in the middle of nowhere.
But it's an affluent,
scary.
like, you know, family and area and stuff like that. But it's good. It's good.
Man.
Like it's not annoying because a lot of the movie's called Get Out. Like it's that kind of thing where it's like you need to get out. Like the audience the entire time is like no, leave. But I mean like. I like the character. It plays out realistically, where it's not like they're not like where it's never not like they're considering about leaving or anything.
Yeah,
you're not like going ugh when they don't leave.
Right.
But yeah, it's good.
Interesting.
But yeah.
So we are sponsored by Dollar Shave Club today, which we were sponsored by last time.
Thank you, Dollar
And
Shave Club.
I got a little blurb to read to you guys right now.
Blurb it.
There's no reason to use a cheap disposable razor or pay a ridiculously high price for some gimmicky thing that's got a laser pointer with 17 blades. Huh? Make the
want
smarter choice and join Dollar Shave Club like I did, which I actually did. Before Dollar Shave Club, it was either save money and get a painful shave from a disposable, like the ones they give away for free at the gym, which felt like shaving with a piece of glass, or pay a fortune for the latest gimmicky shave breakthrough. I don't need like a laser chin detector with 17 blades. There's always stuff
a lot
on
of
TV.
lasers and blades.
Dollar Shave Club is the best of both worlds. A premium shave at a disposable price. I have been subscribed to Dollar Shave Club for about a year and a half, I believe, and it's really good. It's really cheap too. I have almost too many blades because I haven't been using them enough because I'm so used to like not taking them off for like 2 months.
You were talking about how like you originally had the upper like a higher tier and you had to like downgrade just because you had so many stocked up
I
and
didn't
stuff,
downgrade. I stayed at the same tier. I just kind of was like, okay, send them every other month because I had
gotcha.
like 16 blades because I was in the mindset of like previously buying blades and I'd shave and I'd keep it for 2 months.
Yeah.
And when they send it to you, they're like, use it like for a week because they send you 4 a month. So, and they're nice blades. It's a nice little handle, and I get their shave cream too. It smells like rosemary, which I like a lot. It smells like some nice
I want
rosemary
rosemary
bread.
and thyme, so I smell like I just got out of the oven.
Yeah. And then you could also be friends with
Dan bread.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Why?
Rosemary and thyme?
Oh yeah.
Is that a song, Lou?
I think it's one of their lyrics.
Oh.
Rosemary and thyme. Anyways, get a close, smooth shave every time, and you can't beat the convenience or the price of the club. If you haven't tried Dollar Shave Club yet, you're missing out. It's an amazing shave at an affordable price. There's no smarter choice on the market, and right now, they're giving away a 1-month trial of any of their razors for $1 with free shipping. And after that, it's just a few bucks a month. There's no long-term commitments, no hidden fees, and you cancel whenever you want. Get your $1 trial at dollarshaveclub.com/hub. That's dollarshaveclub.com/hub, HUB. But I really like Dollar Shave Club, and I will continue to use their services.
I need to sign up for
it.
I think I got some razors actually on like Saturday in the mail, so I got some new razors when I get home.
You've got rays.
But I really like Dollar Shave Club, so.
Yeah, you don't have a raise here. You just razors.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
But yes, that is our sponsor for today. Thank you to Dollar Shave Club.
Oh yeah.
I finished Zelda last night.
Ooh.
And I was surprised at how fast
borrow
it
it?
went. Maybe.
Continue.
Means borrowing an entire console.
Exactly. Stop it. You're going to ruin this for me.
I was surprised at how fast I beat it, but I realized I looked at how long it took me. It still took me like 35 hours, which is
wow.
a typical Zelda game.
Did it feel like 35 hours?
No, it did not. But I was interested the whole way. A lot of times when Skyward Sword came out, which was the last one before this, that was in 2011, that one was like 40 hours, but that was like monotonous. Mm-hmm. And I played halfway through it and I stopped for a year. And I continued it like a summer later and beat it. And I've done that with a lot of Zelda games, but the only ones I haven't done it with are Twilight Princess and now Breath of the Wild.
Gotcha.
I never had to take a break, and I beat it like in the first week and a half or so. And this is like constant playing. Like I'd go home, I'd play while watching TV or whatever. And the Switch is so cool because you can kind of play without it. But this is my favorite Zelda, I think. I almost wish there was more just because it's so fun. Mm-hmm. But there was so much too. And I still like, I beat it and I was like, well, I still haven't done everything. And I
was about to say, you can continue to explore the world, right?
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about Zelda games, and I do this in every single one, is that when you beat the final boss, they put you back to before you beat it after you're done. They do it in every Zelda game. They did it with Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword.
Why?
Because
that's kind of weird.
They want you to just kind of continue throughout the world, but I want to see the world out as it is after I beat it, because it always changes.
Okay, gotcha.
But then they put you back beforehand when it's still a little gloomy, because they need the villains there,
Enemies,
I guess.
I got you. Okay, that makes
Which
sense.
is fine. That's always been a little thing I've talked about with Zelda. But
That'd be a cool feature where you get not a whole new game, but there's still a chapter after that of just having fun.
they do have
in
DLC.
the world you saved.
They do have DLC coming out in winter time.
Okay.
But I realized after I beat it that I hadn't even discovered a part of the map. So I actually went and found it, and it was like this cool tropical area, and I was like, "This is awesome!" And it was a whole village. There's plenty of things I still can do. I haven't discovered all of the little shrines. They have like probably 150 in there. And there's plenty of things for me to do for the next year probably, but it's not like the main story. I kind of plowed through the main story. I still have side quests to do. So like if it was Skyrim, I just plowed through the main.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So
Man, if you plow through the main in Skyrim, you're only playing for like 5 or 6 hours. Like it's a very quick campaign
Yeah.
for that main campaign. But there's so much side shit.
Zelda was great. I'm going to do a spoiler review on my channel, but I don't want to do that here because obviously some people haven't finished it.
Yeah.
It was really good though. Like it made the Switch worth it, but now I'm kind of like, I need to wait for another game to come out on the Switch because the other two games I have are party games and Snipperclips and 1-2 Switch. I'm still gonna play Zelda, but I kind of wish I had another game.
Yeah.
And I think this is gonna be when people are starting to question the Switch, is when people start to beat Zelda, and they'll be like, I don't have anything to do anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks about the beginning of the life of a console is, I mean, at least in recent years, like as the new generations have start coming out, there has been far less games developed for them or available at launch or even like within the first year. But I mean, it seems like they have a decent slate lined up. Like, do they? Are there other games coming out?
Mario Kart's coming out next month. So is Arms. Did you see that one? It's like a punching game.
No.
It's like you have springy arms, and it's a party game. Oh, they have a lot of party games coming out. Which
Sonic looks great.
Sonic?
The Sonic remastered.
I was just gonna
Or
say
not
I wanna
remastered.
see-
It's like what were you gonna say?
I was say I want to see a Sonic game. But here we go.
Have you seen the trailer for it?
No.
They went back. They were like, in order to find out what's so special about Sonic, we have to go backwards. And so it's like the original game, but slightly updated and just new. They have a whole lot of new zones.
It's
So
for
it's
the
pretty much the
Switch?
same game. And they also yes, it's for the Switch. And they
I haven't
announced
seen this.
And they announced there's a new mechanic. Oh, what is the mechanic? So they added just a new mechanic, but there's only 3 characters. There's Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. And
yeah. I hope it's good, 'cause
it
the
seems
last-
to be like a tight, straightforward Sonic game.
Straightforward thing.
Yeah,
Good. Well, the last good Sonic game was the other one where they went back in time, which was Sonic Generations. Essentially, you'd go between 3D and 2D.
Oh,
But it was
I
an
remember
updated 2D, and I don't play Sonic, but people were saying that was like the last decent
one,
one
yeah.
because the most
Sonic
recent
Boom.
ones have not been doing good.
I've only heard-
they were supposed to do a TV show, and they never did it.
Like another cartoon.
Yeah, of Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, the
Oh,
TV show.
I got you. Oh, so that
Actually,
was
maybe they did a couple
preface.
episodes. I don't know, but it didn't last long.
I just love the Sonic series where they would have the instruments. You ever watched that one?
No.
Like Sonic played guitar. There was a green hedgehog. He played his brother played the drums, and his sister was pink and played I think bass.
Oh, is this the cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It
Yeah.
was a cartoon.
Was this the Jaleel White one from the late
Probably.
80s, early 90s?
Oh, they did the cartoon apparently.
Oh, okay.
They did the Sonic
Boom.
Boom cartoon.
It was bad.
Sonic
Oh.
Mini is the
It was
game jam.
super bad.
No, Sonic, like I've seen. I watched the Grumps
Sonic
play
Underground,
Sonic
that's
Boom.
it?
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yep, cartoon was bad. All right, you're too slow. But the game looks really good. What other
Oh,
games
good.
were?
Mario Kart Arms is coming out. They have a ton of indie games. Like there's an indie game coming out at least 2 coming out every week, I think.
Yeah.
And there's one coming out that looks cool to me. It's kind of like Fire Emblem style Advance Wars type of thing that's coming out. There's fighting games that are coming out.
They have Isaac Afterbirth Plus if you want to get that for your
Yes,
Switch.
that is coming out.
Because then you
which
could just keep playing
I
Isaac.
love Isaac.
You could get back into Isaac.
Yeah. And Stardew Valley multiplayer is coming out during the summer. And there's a bunch of games. I think I just want the Mario game. Because I want like that intense single player game. Because I feel like Zelda's the first one I've had in a long time that's like that. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I want to experience now again, even though I beat Zelda. So I think I just have to wait. But Mario and the Zelda DLC are coming out on Christmas or around Christmas. And the Zelda DLC, they said, is going to be an original story. I don't know how big, but if it could be.
I love story DLC.
I do too. Like the Batman DLC that was the good story DLC.
Yeah. Season of Infamy was the only real good story DLC there, but yeah.
But I think the Switch is going to have a great life. It's just a little sad right now because, like any console, there's no games at launch.
And you have to wait till Christmas until the next big title.
No, there's going to be big titles until then. I'm just talking about single player stuff.
Okay.
And that's only game I'm aware of. Apparently, they think that they're going to announce more at E3. I don't know, but I guess we'll see.
All right.
Yeah, Zelda's great. I honestly think it's worth it to buy the console just for that. But that's also because I'm a Nintendo fanboy, Zelda fanboy. So to me, it's worth it. It all depends. But it is on Wii U, so if anyone does want to play it, I haven't heard anything bad about the Wii U version.
The Zelda version? Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that until
And
recently.
they did that with Twilight Princess. When it came out on Wii, they also had it come out on GameCube. So
I imagine if it can run on a little cartridge, it can run on the Wii U.
yeah. But I haven't heard anything bad about the Wii U version, so if you have a Wii U and you want to play it,
I'd consider it, but
someone bought it at Goodwill for $15.
the Wii U version?
Yeah, someone said they found it at Goodwill, and they're like, how is this here already? Someone said that they probably thought a mom had a bad kid, and they're like, fine, you don't get it. And then,
Either that or they bought it for the Wii U and not the Switch.
ooh, yeah, that'd probably be it.
Why wouldn't you just return it?
Depends on how angry you were.
I don't know. Anyway.
Who knows?
Fantastic.
But yes.
I wanted to bring up something. There was a news article about Joss Whedon talking about binging and how it's kind of dangerous to the form of television and stuff
Ooh.
like that.
I can understand that.
The points he specifically brought up was just like, it's not specifically for television. I think more so older television. I think people are kind of a bit better, or writing for television has kind of changed. But he was just talking about the experience of the week-to-week viewing and having time in between to kind of either let whatever settle in or
Think about it.
or just like, when you're blowing through a show, you're going through episode to episode to episode where a writer was specifically trying to say something with the episode that you made, like he did or he or she wrote, and then it just kind of all melds into this big thing. I went through Nurse Jackie with that was like 5 seasons. There were like maybe 10, 15 episodes per season. They were all 22 minutes or half an hour long. And I blew through that show, and I don't know if I can remember specific instances throughout. Like I definitely have a different memory when I've watched shows like that.
Granted, Star Wars Rebels is only 2 seasons, but it kind of feels like one episode to me.
Yeah?
Because I blew through both seasons because I watched them prior, and I was going to start watching season 3 because it's coming out week to week, but I don't have TV.
Yeah.
So I just buy it on Blu-ray and watch it all.
Yeah.
I'm doing that with Avatar: Last Airbender right now.
I love
This is
Avatar.
my first go through.
See, it's nice going back to shows that you've never seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to say it's nice going back to shows that you used to watch and then binging through them. I do
Yeah.
like doing that, but
Well, I just kind of like walked in on a friend watching it, and then
it's a great.
just got swept up
That's
in
your
it.
show. I'm
Hell
amazed you
yeah.
have never seen it.
I used
Well-
to fantasize about it when I was a kid. I'd be like, I would be an airbender.
Yeah, no, it's bring because Naruto and everything. I really wanted all Pokemon, all of it to be
Yep.
real, and like this was one of those shows where even now at this age, it's still doing that, and I'm like, trying to mimic their
Oh, yeah.
their shit
the
and
hand stuff.
Yeah.
Well, when you're
never
that,
watched the movie. Never watched the movie.
it was awful.
When did that come out?
M. Night Shyamalan.
I
It was
was
like
in-
2006, 2007, 2008.
I was in high school.
Maybe a little bit
so
later,
I think-
2009.
Man, I feel like that was like 3 years ago, and everyone just shat on it, and it got brushed under the rug. But then
Oh,
It's
wait,
because
it's
everyone
it
loved the
came out
show so
Maybe
much.
2010,
15 years ago.
because 2009 was Avatar, and they couldn't call it Avatar: The
Right.
Last Airbender because of that. So they
Okay.
just called it The Last Airbender, which was kind of stupid. They could have still called it Avatar: The Last
Could have called
Airbender.
it.
Yeah.
That would have been stupid. But
That might have been 2010,
the
2011.
movie was
so.
awful. The kids couldn't act, and the script wasn't good.
Kids were really bland, and that's like.
Was it
meh.
the voice actors?
No.
Okay, it was okay.
I don't think it's not a case that the kids couldn't act.
Which is funny
exactly
because-
2 of them I think are all right actors. A couple of them,
Do you know who Cora's voice actor is?
no.
It's the girl from Scott Pilgrim, the lesbian. Mae.
Oh, Mae Whitman.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh.
Her
She
mother was a
voices-
big voice actor, so I watched a whole long interview with her on Kevin Pollak's chat show, and yeah, her mother used to be a voice actor, so that's how she used to go. She did the voice of the little girl on Johnny Bravo. I don't know if you've ever watched that show.
yeah.
But she would just be there with her mother when they were doing voices, and so the casting director would just talk to the little girl because she would be there all the time,
Yeah.
and like they asked her if she wanted to do voices, and so she was
that's cool.
the little girl on Johnny Bravo.
That's really cool.
She was also the president's daughter in Independence Day, and yeah, the lesbian in Scott Pilgrim, and she's been in a bunch of other stuff.
I like her.
She's very active.
But Legend of Korra is pretty good. It's a little bit
Johnny
slower and not as bright.
Yeah, I
but
hear,
it's really. I like it a lot. It's much more modern.
Yeah.
Not just in the way it looks, but in its sensibilities.
Yeah. No, that was my first exposure. I saw one episode, and I was blown away by just some of the things that they were. God, see this thing going back to binging, it just happens.
So-
Like we started it last week, and we're already in season 3.
Yeah.
And we're like a third of the way through it.
Yeah.
And I can't remember we finished season 2, and the next day we started season 3, and I'm like, wait, yeah, I didn't know if they were like in the middle of this fight or if they got away,
Yep.
but they had gotten away. Well, I don't want
Stuff starts to blur.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? But,
Yeah, it's way different than watching it, one season over the span of 3 or 4 months or 3 months or however long.
Well, I'm
the show
rewatching
runs.
Game of Thrones for like the 6th time right now, and it is. I watched it since season 2, I believe.
Yeah.
Weekly, and weekly, you don't want it, but I think overall it's a better medium for watching it because I would just want to watch the season, obviously.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have to wait for it and you
Oh,
got to
yeah.
think
and
about
it becomes
it.
a thing, and you talk to people about it, and
Yep.
there is a little bit more to it as opposed to, dude, you binge through that show. Which I mean, and Joss Whedon was saying he's like, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about it too much. I'm just saying like I think we're losing something through it, and he's like, certainly I will adapt and whatever, but it's checking in every week, and like the writer's like, this is the story I want to tell this week, and this is what I'm saying, and
It's
then
like sipping versus chugging.
exactly.
You savor the flavor.
Exactly.
For some shows, I think it's much more imperative, kind of like South Park, because South Park is so topical most of the
yeah.
time
Oh, yeah.
that when it's in the moment, it's so much funnier.
That's true. Yeah, that's a show that it still lives on. There's still some classic episodes, but I kind of
I watch
did.
the World of Warcraft one every now and then.
Oh, that episode is really great. I love that one. The fucking guy just
I like
goes like,
Carmen's
we're getting destroyed. And he's just like,
every
I
now
get
and
it as
again
a wrist brace.
when I'm playing Overwatch, I'll like catch myself slouching.
And you're just like-
I'm like, I don't want to be him.
we did. No. When I was a couple of months ago, I wanted to play Splinter Cell with Joe, some co-op, and I was test recording for a bit, and I played for like half an hour because I wanted to get to unlock the co-op stuff, and I was test recording, and I didn't realize I had my camera on there, and so I ended up playing for like half an hour, and I was probably like half stoned, and I went back and watched the footage, and I'm just like. And I was just like, I'm deleting this instantly.
You got your
It's
game
the
face
most
on.
I
disgusting
get caught
face.
doing that a lot too, where you're just
Oh
going,
my god.
Dang.
I was just I don't realize how stupid I look if I'm just completely shut off and plugged
well,
into
you
what I'm
you
doing.
get taken into the game.
Yeah. I was just bolting through. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So binge watching stuff.
But it is also nice to have a show you can come home to
Yeah.
and just know you can.
I think the way people consume TV right now is just so.
Well,
Any
there's
entertainment.
such a high volume of television now, so it's kind of binging is kind of encouraged because there's so many shows.
Well, in the
Yeah.
last month, I've watched 2 seasons of Hell's Kitchen, 3 seasons of Game of Thrones. I've watched half a season of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I've watched, God, I think I've watched like 2 more shows too.
Until you're fucking raw.
I love Hell's Kitchen. Season 15 is a lot better than 16 though. We're watching it reverse. We started with 16. I'm like, well, okay. I started with 15.
Well, that's a show you could watch whatever season.
But in season 15, they spoiled 2 of the winners. So now we're like gonna be like, well, okay, let's go back. I don't even remember who they are though, so I doubt I'll remember when I see them again. But
Liz and I were watching Worst Cooks once, and we were watching, I think, a VOD, like the on-demand thing, and the finale had just aired. This was a few seasons back, but the finale had already aired, and we were going back watching through the on-demand thing, and they have those commercials in between.
Oh, no.
And it was the last commercial break before the reveal, and they had a commercial about the winners on the thing because they just slap commercials on the on-demand thing.
Yeah.
And they had the winners in there. I'm like, we just got spoiled. Like, no, maybe it was like halfway through the episode, and it was just like, why?
What's the point?
Why would you even put that in a commercial anyway? For those who have DVR'd it or whatever, I get it. You're not
well,
caught
no,
up,
that's the
so
worst thing that
stupid.
could happen in that
so
circumstance.
stupid. It's like, well, we don't need to watch the rest of the episode now. Great. But
I'm sorry.
That and
I like Worst Cooks.
speaking of commercials that were messed up, I remember a long ass time ago, I took a screen cap of it. Actually, I saw it on my iPad the other day. That's why it came into my head. But there was a Finding Bigfoot ad that said Finding Bagoot, and it didn't have an F. The end to that story.
Wait, what was that hashtag you saw on the Swedish
yeah.
cuisine?
Oh yeah, there was the Miracle of Sound on Twitter. Retweeted this Icelandic pizza company that was promoting their
Ed Sheeran's
album launch and their deep pan pizza, and it said the hashtag was hashtag deep pan album party, but the way it's spelled, it looks like it says deep anal bum party with two P's. D is spelled with two P's. So it was hashtag deep anal bum party.
Oh man.
It was.
I hope they leave that up.
I hope they do leave it up because it's getting a shit ton of retweets. Maybe they knew what they were
Yeah, I was
doing.
saying, what if they saw that in marketing and they're like, let's do it?
Because
Yeah.
Spencer said it could have been easily fixed by just capitalizing the words. But,
Yeah.
Anal bum party.
but you can't. I had to read it twice to figure out what they were actually trying to say. Because
Yeah.
you were the one who deciphered it for me because I didn't get what they were trying to say outside of deep anal bum party.
Well, I read it and I was like, I can't see it any other way.
Yeah, deep pan bum. Yeah, there it is. Well, it had two P's though for the
Deep
pan, so it's
Pan
deep
Album Party.
pan album party.
Deep anal
So
bum
hilarious.
Party.
How
Perfect.
did nobody see that? I guess they're Icelandic, so
Yeah.
they just couldn't tell.
They tweeted it and went back to the club.
They're big Ed Sheeran
party.
It's the
fans there in
nicest airport
Iceland.
I've ever been in.
Reykjavik, yeah. I had a fantastic goat sandwich or whatever it was, or lamb.
Icelandic
Actually, wait,
goat.
in Germany they had a
Deep
bakery
lamb.
in the airport, and they had the best pretzels.
Oh yeah,
That was when we went to England because we
yeah.
did a layover.
Layover. Oh, I can't wait to go to England next month.
England. That's crazy. Next month.
Yeah, we're going to I-60, Insomnia 60. So if
Yep.
you guys are going to Insomnia or in or around the Birmingham, England area,
And we'll probably be driving possibly elsewhere too, so we'll let people know when we
Yeah.
are. So that way we can maybe do a meetup.
yeah, maybe do a meetup. We have a couple extra days
There's
there,
always-
I believe.
I feel like
so
we should do a meetup if we ever go elsewhere, just because
definitely.
we're only there for so long. The one in
Yeah.
Sweden, that was probably the coolest meetup ever because we had our own room.
Oh, that was crazy. And yeah, no, Overkill was crazy awesome to rent out that space or talk to their landlord, I think, and let us use that space. So that was crazy.
I just
crazy
remember
awesome.
being at a meeting at the Overkill Studios and I was like falling asleep. And I felt really bad
do remember
because
that.
I was at the meeting. I was just like,
Who's all going? Well, Joe,
talking
Spencer, me, Jordan, and Steph. We're all going. It's going to be a gay old time. I'm excited.
yep,
It was really fun last time.
that hotel was nice.
I've never been to England.
England's
I know.
nice.
Neither
It's
have
giving me a
I. I mean, I've been there,
microphone
but I've been there, but we only stayed
stayed
at
in the
the
hotel.
convention center and
Yeah,
the hotel the
when
entire
Jordan
time.
mentioned
So.
that we'd be going again, I'm like, we need to go at least to the city.
Well, I
that
think
we're in.
last time when we were there, I think we all agreed it was like next time we come or
We also
next time we
didn't
go
film
anywhere, do extra stuff. We filmed the hub and that was pretty much it because we just booked up at the event the entire time.
But
with
this
stage,
time we're not.
stage stuff. Yeah, so it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yep.
I'm excited. I can make another hand turkey
Yep.
from that super hot interior floor right there. Anyway, I think we're about done unless you have
Yep.
anything else to talk about.
There's a breeze coming in.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've just been hot this whole time. I didn't sleep well last night, and I'm like, my internal temperature is really high.
I know. I hate those nights.
I don't know what it is, but
we should have turned on the fan while you were playing Overwatch.
oh, that's what it was. My ears were all red. And those Sony headphones were like this.
Oh yeah.
I was just baking like a deep pan bum party.
Joe's Baked, everybody. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thanks to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this video. And
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for sitting in the chat. We will see you next week on the Hubcast.
Have a
And Jordan and
great-
Steph should be back on Monday. So
great week.
we will see you all next week.
Love to you all. Have a good week.
Huh, you don't know about me. I play Zelda and I eat some meat. Because then I talk about teats and then, leeks. Make soup with some potatoes.